Well, hello, everybody, and this is Auntie, and we are here to talk about Brian McKnight. Child, it appears from all of the outlets that Brian McKnight don't give up that his son passed. Let's talk about the timeline and all of the things that have happened since he lost his beloved son. He may not be beloved to him, but he is beloved. Let's talk about it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, and my listening and viewers. All of y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for Auntie Advice. Sweet old. It's time for Auntie Advice. Oh, yeah. It's time for Auntie Advice. Well, welcome back, everybody. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. To all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. There is a story that is in the headlines about Brian McKnight losing his son. And I wanted to talk about it a little bit and give you all an opportunity to say what you have to say, get it all for your chest in a safe environment. We have a moderator here by the name of Ray Della, and she will ensure that you are able to talk in a free space. I love doing trending news, and you all love me doing it. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about it. So, let's talk about it, shall we? So, before Brian McKnight, son, Niko died of cancer last week, the singer called him a product of sin. Y'all, this is an article that is in the root.com, dated June 4th of 2025. And it is going to give us a timeline of what has happened, okay? So that we can start talking about it. After the world got the news of Brian McKnight's son dying of cancer, many people were shocked to find out the Still in Love singer never made any effort to contact him while he was alive. The two of them had years of ongoing drama, and it came to a breaking point. And so we're going to talk about the unbelievable things that Brian McKnight has done, allegedly. All of this is allegedly, okay? And surrounding his son and the children he refuses to claim. So back in 1990, Brian McKnight married a singer by the name of Julie. The couple lasted for over a decade, and together they had two sons. They had an older boy who was named Brian McKnight Jr., following his father's footsteps. Okay, and Brian has since then released his own music. They also had a second son by the name of Nicholas, and he worked as a photographer in California. His mother had confirmed he sadly passed away after a 2-year battle with cancer. Now, keep that in mind. This has been 2 years that his son has been battling with this. Over the years, Brian and his son have gone back and forth on social media, but it wasn't always bad, okay? And it wasn't always bad blood in the family. So, follow the story. After Julie and McKnight got a divorce back in 2003, he was still an active part of his son's lives. Niko, his second son, even performed with him on Fox Morning Show in 2028. But Brian eventually married his second wife, Leilani Mendoza, in 2017. Just a couple of years later, everything started shifting. So in 2019, Brian McKnight hinted at tensions between him and his kids. And he said, in quotes, "I've never missed a day of child support." End quotes. He also said, end quotes, "I've never done anything adverse to my children whatsoever. I've always been there. I've always been there with advice, whether they took it or not." Okay. His son, Brian Jr., was like, mm-mm. He took to Facebook and said, in quotes, "I don't think there is any situation that merits the way that my father has chosen to treat my brother and I, my sisters, and his grandchildren, one of which is being his firstborn son, who also bears his name." And so then Brian McKnight's eldest daughter, Brianna, also spoke out during that same time period, saying that her father's estrangement hurts her. She said that she was thankful that her brothers filled in the gaps. Now, they should never have to fill in the gaps for their father, okay? Her mother, Patricia Driver, gave birth while McKnight was still married to his first wife. Okay. Now, back in 2023, Brian and his wife, Leilani, gave birth to their first child together, a son named Brian McKnight Jr. Now, this should not be confused with his oldest son with the same name. Now, in response to the double junior debacle, Brian Jr., the first one said, in quotes, "I'm not ashamed of the name my ancestors had. I'll never change the name. I'll never change the name my own son has. We are witnessing an obscene level of self hate that has reached mental illness status at this point," end quotes. McKnight then came out in 2024 calling his oldest children a quote unquote product of sin, according to the Roots. Okay. And honey, everything just got out of control. Julie called out her ex husband, saying, in quotes, "The point at the end of every negative situation, it's to only keep you down to where they thought they had you because they were the author of an extremely abusive situation emotionally, and mentally." End quotes. Niko did address his father's product of sin comment on X amid his personal battle with cancer. He died at the age of 32. Knight now refers to his stepchildren and his infant son as his only freaking kids. Now, according to page 6, Brian McKnight has made no effort to reach out. He made no effort to reach out to his son before he passed away. Now, who does that? Who does something like that? It's during hard times, it's during rough times that you put your feelings aside. Now, in the video that we just previously did, I'd already talked about another family where there is, a lot of bitterness, a lot of wrath and anger and stuff like that, grudges, jealousy going on. And I also mentioned the dynamics of having siblings and stuff like that. There are times when, like, you don't get along. Something may have happened at the last barbecue. Maybe something happened around the holidays or whatever. And, when the family was gathered together and you have little discrepancies and stuff. Families fight. Families get angry with one another. That, like, no human is ever going to agree on the same thing, like, ever. But there are times when you got to put that bitterness, that wrath, that envy, that jealousy behind you for the betterment of the family. Like you have to. And instead of him doing that, in my opinion, he pushes them further away. I don't know if it's mental illness or what it is, but something is wrong. Something's wrong when a man has a son, two sons, and can't fix the relationship. Go off and have other children, and now this child is called Brian McKnight Jr. It's there appears to be so much vitriol, and it's like, where is it coming from? Now, Niko, before he passed away, admitted, I wasn't the perfect son. I wasn't always good. Hell, mine ain't, and yours ain't either. Our kids go through things. They change. They're dealing with stuff. Sometimes they're a little disrespectful. You just gotta check them. We all have issues with our children, but to just abandon them, in my opinion, that's at a whole different level of diabolical. Like for real. But y'all let me know down in the comment section because we're gonna continue to talk about it. So he made, wait a minute, according to an article by Page Six, Brian McKnight made no effort to reach out to his son, Niko Knight, before he died of cancer last week. A source close to the situation exclusively told Page Six that, in quotes, back at one singer has not reached out to the family. He did not contact or see Niko. The source says that Niko was surrounded by an abundance of love and support from those who truly mattered. Now, I understand what they mean by that, those who truly mattered, but his dad truly mattered in his life. Whether he was there or not is a different thing. But to every son that I know of, and there may be some sons who don't care, but it was very obvious with the things that went on between Brian McKnight and his son that his dad mattered to him. So I got, I gotta make sure that I interject that into this conversation, because there would not have been war without love. When it comes down to a family, there is no love without there first being, no war without there first being love. And that's what makes people say things, do things that are unacceptable or that are unbelievable. And you'd be like, what the hell? Because it starts off with love. I'm sure that they did not always find themselves in this place. I'm sure that there were years, right? And so I don't, even though he is being diabolical at this point, he can't be ruled out as not being someone who mattered to his son. If that makes sense. Y'all let me know if y'all understand what I'm saying, if you agree or you disagree. They said that those people that were around him was his mother, his older brother, Brian McKnight Jr., his wife Carla, and other extended family members. And they have pictures of him, and it's just so sad. Um, they said the family wants everybody to know that he was not alone and he was deeply cherished every step of the way. They reached out to Brian McKnight's team, but they did not hear back from them. And on Friday, his mom took to Instagram to confirm the news that indeed her second son, Nicholas, had passed away the day before after a 2-year battle with cancer at the age of 32. They said that he was a cherished husband, son, brother, grandson, uncle, and nephew whose warmth, laughter, and love touched the lives of all who knew him. Just so freaking sad. They have pictures out here of his wife and everything. I'll make sure I leave the link in here so y'all can see. Nicholas was a self-taught artist of music and photography. His passing is an immeasurable loss to his family and all those who held him dear. The home singer added, asking for privacy during this difficult time. Brian, who shares sons, Brian Jr. and Niko with Julie, daughter Brianna with ex Patricia Driver, and son Clyde with an unidentified woman, has had an estranged relationship with their eldest four for the last few years. And in October of 2023, Brian announced on Instagram that he had legally changed his name to become a senior to his then newborn son. Brian K. McCullough Jr., whom he shares with his new wife, even though he had already been a senior to his eldest son, Brian Jr. Disgusting. The following year, Brian said he didn't claim his estranged biological kids because they were the product of sin. What is the product of sin? Is he saying that he was illegitimate even though he was married? Like, like, what does he mean, the product of sin? Like, what does that mean? That's some bull crap, made up, half ass spiritual. He said, in order to live a life that you love, you have to get rid of the evil and the negativity, even if that evil and negativity is related to you. A fan had wrote that that Brian McKnight disowning his children was against God. Y'all know what he said? He said, number one, God wasn't talking about children that are the product of sin, which they are. And he said, and number two, I didn't raise them, their mothers did. Number three, he said, know the whole story before quoting the Bible. And number four, take your inaccurate negativity off my page and try being happy. That's when Niko took to Instagram to have his say about it. And he said, I'm evil? That's wow. The guy who used to make me clean up his used condoms. What? After he comes out there and reads somebody, Niko comes out to read him. And I repeat it, I'm evil? That's wow. The guy who used to make me clean up his used condoms out his bathroom when I was 15 before Lisa got home is calling me evil. In a separate comment, he said the guy who forged signatures on our names is evil. He also alleged that him and his wife were helping Niko with their medical needs when they found out he had cancer, but stopped since Julie allegedly intervened. According, it says, we miraculously found a treatment facility near our home that put him at the top of the list. And then we put down a deposit to secure that place. This is what he said back in April of last year. While Brian and his wife were raging for Niko and his wife to fly their home, the Anytime singer claimed Julie made a hostile phone call to him, demanding him to stop helping his own son. She was like, what? This is once again a response to bathe myself and my family into these false narratives. He is a liar. Now he is a father figure to these kids. The cheaper the keeper actor now refers to his stepchildren and his infant son as his only kids. But that ain't it. Because his brother took to social media to make the announcement about his nephew passing. And Brian went in. He went in. Let me show some of y'all comments. Let me tell y'all how he went in. So the announcement went out. It is with profound sadness that Julie McKnight and family announced the passing of their beloved son, Cole Nicholas McKnight, affectionately known as Niko, on Thursday, May 29th. Julie McKnight, Niko McKnight's mom, posted on Instagram on May the 30th. She said Nicholas, I'm sorry, Nicholas was a cherished husband, son, brother, grandson, uncle, and nephew whose warmth, laughter, and love touched the lives of all who knew him. Nicholas was a self-taught artist, so they went through all of that, right? They said Julie has asked for privacy, continued prayers as the family navigates this incredibly difficult time. Mama Bear and the entire family appreciate the outpouring of love and support from friends, fans, and the public. Brian McKnight then took to social media about his son's death while also taking shots at Niko's McKnight's uncle. He said a big thanks to Claude McKnight, tasteless and self-aggrandizing announcement on TikTok that frankly was not his to make. In my opinion, it wasn't for him to say nothing. It's for whoever the family asked to say something. I thought that those weren't his kids. So then whose place was it to, like, I'm sorry, I'm confused as hell. If they're not your kids because they came out of sin, then whose job was it to? He went on to Instagram and posted, my brother basically inserted himself and used Niko's death as an opportunity instead of letting him pass with respect and dignity. It has instead turned into a circus, a mockery of a life now lost, making this tragedy into a reality show type drama. While that was unfolding, my family and I flew home to Maui and had a private memorial remembering him and all the good times. What good times? The last time he and I spoke, we offered him all the help we could provide. We had the number one oncologist on deck for him and a team of specialists on standby with private care in our home. He and his mother declined it. Receipts, I need receipts. I need receipts. And then even with the receipts, we need the whole story. Because maybe they declined it because they already had all of that. And this was a little too late. And then this needed to be done in Maui according to your terms. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. And who was in Maui remembering the good times? Well, you've been beefing with your son on social media for I don't know how long. The door of communication was open and remained open until his death. To the self proclaimed Mama Bear, may God have mercy on your soul for not allowing him to accept that help and not allowing him to use that line of communication. But when I say, that this is disgusting, revolting, repulsive, sickening, nauseating, stomach churning, off putting, unpalatable, unappetizing, gross, yucky, gut churning, grotty, offensive, outrageous, displeasing, shocking, horrifying, scandalous, monstru- monstrous, unspeakable, shameless, shameful, vulgar, vile, wicked, heinous, detestable, despicable, deplorable, abominable, unforgivable, inexcusable, intolerable, beyond the pale. This was horrid, ghastly, sick, and diabolical. as a mom, as a dad, as a sister, as a brother, as an aunt, as an uncle, as a grandma, as a grandfather, as a cousin, as a friend. You can't help but to use every one of them words to describe a father who attacks a mama who lost her baby. See, I know that there are moms out there, right, that are just as diabolical. But my experience of being a mom is that there is a gut instinct in us where the cord, the umbilical cord was cut that never heals. There is a sixth sense that comes in our gut, right at the point of the incision, the separation of that child from your womb, that you will have all the days of your life. And for him to come out there and talk about the baby mama and quote unquote call her mama bear when this mother wasn't there is everything I just said and more. Add your own words downtown to the comment section. And that ain't to say that daddies, real fathers, don't have that same attachment to their children. Good daddies worth their salt in the earth can guide their children and know how to give them love and support and wisdom. And you want to go out there and talk about that they're there. I was paying for this and I was paying. Well, was you paying for this 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago? No, you on social media. I'm trying to. Niko, rest in peace. You're with the ultimate father. To Mama Bear. I'm so sorry for your loss. May God kill your heart in areas that are unimaginable to those of us who still have our kids living. The only thing that we can do is think and pray and try to put ourselves in that place. But that is a pain that no mama wants to know. Our kids are supposed to bury us. And right now, more often than not, moms and dads are burying their kids. And now here we have this. God gonna get you. I can say all the things that I want to say out here. I can be angry and enraged, but God got you. Whatever God you know or whatever God you don't know. But there is no way in the world that stuff, whether you believe in God or not, that stuff like this don't get its just reward. I don't know who hurt this man. I don't know what's wrong with him. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But I do know that this ain't the end of it. These are children. And the thing about it is, he's got these little kids, right, with his wife. And I ain't wishing nothing bad on the man. I just ain't. I'm just saying, are they not watching? Will they not read? Will they not find out? Will they not judge? Will they not make their own decision about their own relationship with the Father? See, that's the thing he's thinking about. Right now, he's in bliss with this woman, I guess. And he's happy with this newfound family, but he don't know, and he don't have a clue how his kids really see this stuff. Oh, but he'll find out in the by and by. He'll find out in the by and by. God bless y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. Keep his mother and his family in your prayers. I'm sure that this is one of the hardest things that they will face. I'm sure that there were many nights and many hopeful days that he was going to recover. If you've ever dealt with someone who's had cancer, there's always, regardless of how dark the days get, there's always that one hope in your mind that's saying they gonna beat this. While reality is telling you, I need you to prepare. I'm praying that his mom had that unction and that to prepare while still holding on hope. Because sometimes y'all hope is all we got left. May God bless them. May heaven keep them and smile upon them. Will they find joy in the memories and peace in knowing that he's in a better place? Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you so much, Ray Della, for moderating the chat and making sure that everybody has an opportunity to talk in a safe place. If you have not already done so, hit the subscribe button and give us your comments in the replay, whether or not it be a prayer, whether or not it be to tell Brian to kiss you, okay? Keep this family in your prayers. I love you all, and until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water.